So today I'm with another British skating legend. He might not consider himself a legend, but been speaking to him, and I certainly do, and certainly from me personally and with my family. John Gordon Toy. But where were you born, John? Was you in Birmingham?
I was born in Shirley in Birmingham.
Okay, because I was trying to work out whether you was originally from Birmingham. So you've always been from Birmingham then, it's not too far from here. Yeah. How did you get into skating though?
I went to the embassy and saw them doing a gents only and speeding round, and that appealed to me, and then I joined the Birmingham club and started skating.
But did you quite often go to the embassy before joining the club, or was it just a while, you went there and thought, oh, I quite like this?
No, I just went there and the first time, and I went. I liked the idea of speeding round.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, because so when you joined the club, I mean, when I talk to a lot of skaters, they've been skating till like 10 or 11, and then they were some juniors, or they join a club and then they turn senior at 16. But you was like in your 20s.
Yes.
When you started, so quite late really, and when I say quite late, certainly from somebody starting out in skating, it was late. Is that so? I mean, like, but did you think it was late at that time? Was there many youngsters around, or or was it just the fact that at 20 you went along and thought this is really good?
Well, before that I was playing table tennis.
Okay.
And I had an accident and broke something in my hand, and so I couldn't play table tennis. So that's why I went to the embassy.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So, but you started racing in '57. So we dug out the first programme about 25th of May '57, the Davis Cup. Do you remember your first race?
I think the first race I went into the barrier.
Oh, did you?
Yes. Yeah. Okay,
But it was that in the 50s, like certainly in them sort of days, it was a golden era for British skating. People like Les Woodley, Leo Eason, Jeff Wright, Graham Stead. What was it like rubbing shoulders with them?
Oh, it was really something. It was, you know. Yeah. I used to look up to them, you know. Yes.
Was it good camaraderie, and was it fun?
Yes, definitely.
And what was like the training like though?
The training was hard. It was hard. Sometimes we do a session and do 100 laps.
Right. And how far is that in almost 100 laps to the embassy? So what was it, 11 to the mile? How many was it, 11 to the mile?
Yes.
Something like that. So you took, okay, so you took about 8 miles, okay, yeah. But on a small rink. So it's quite a good grueling session.
Yes, yeah.
And so you're in the Birmingham club, and so was you good straight away? Did you get how did you get your first pair of skates, for example?
Well, I think I started off with some skates, and I didn't know what they were, and they were dancing skates. And
do you know where did you get your first speed skates from, or did you just buy some?
I just buy them off somebody, but and then when people in the club put me right, and I got a proper pair of skates.
You started to come all right.
Yeah.
But it was like so you start in '57.
Yeah.
And then 12 months on from that, around that time, the Midland Club is formed. So
yeah.
And do you know how that came about, the formation of the Midland Club? What drove that?
No, not really, no.
Because I know that, like, you got Les Woodley, and I think I'm right saying he joined Midland, but Barbara, or whichever way around it was, he joined Midland and she stopped with Birmingham, or she joined Midland and he stopped with Birmingham, I think, for a while.
Now, when the Midland Club became a good club
Yeah.
is when I joined the Midland Club and Ricky May, followed by Les Woodley,
Right.
and then they became the strongest club in the Midlands.
Yeah. So that would have been about that's sort of like late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah,
And and was there much rivalry between Midland and Birmingham?
definitely. Yes.
Was
yes.
that?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like, so what was it? Jealousies or characters, or what was the differences between the Midland and Birmingham?
I think it was jealousy, yes, jealousy between the two clubs. Yeah, yeah.
Do you think, because I mean, the Birmingham club was made up, I suppose, I suppose run might be the right word, by Leo and Pat.
Yes, definitely.
But what? So did I mean? Because I thought that like Leo and Pat and Les and all that got on. But do you think?
No, I think Les always wanted to leave. You
Did
know.
he?
Yes, and he was happy joining the Midland Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I suppose like in the Birmingham club, did you ever come across as rivalry between Les and Leo? Because they were right like head and shoulders above everybody else, really, weren't they?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Oh, there was great rivalry between them.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just going to think. I can remember Leo saying that Les wasn't very good technically. Right?
Oh, really?
Yes. How wrong could he be?
I was going to say like yeah.
I can remember him saying that. And
Yeah.
how wrong could he be? Because he was the first person to start with the to do away with the the cup and
The cup and cone bearings,
and
ball
yeah.
races, and have the ball races and stuff.
And he was the first one to start with the ball races.
Wow, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, Les's skating career, I mean, he became like legendary in as much as he won 12 British titles and
Yeah.
you know medals at Worlds, and yet Leo, in contrast, won 5 British titles, but became a world champion. And I just wondered, how that was viewed between the two of them, who was the best. Don't know. No. Anyway, so there was some rivalry, and so did everybody jump ship at the time, like Danny Kelly and everybody? Did they just go, right, I'm all off, we're all going to Midland?
Well, Danny Kelly was already up in the Midlands right from the start.
Okay.
And then and the only jumping ship was what I've just told you.
Yeah.
The three of us going over, and that was the start of the Midland becoming,
Yeah, you've got a good team.
Yes, yeah.
Well, let's talk about your successes rather than Les's and Leo's, because on the 7th of November, 1959, you win the North London Trophy, the handicap. Right, for the first time, so you won it more than once. So it's your first individual medal. But do you remember the race?
Not really, no.
That was your first individual medal, the North London Trophy. Where was that? That would have been under your palace, wouldn't it?
Yes, but I think that's wrong. I think the first race I won was the Davis Cup, right? And the next week was the North London, and I won that as well.
Right.
And they didn't adjust the handicap.
Oh, right. Well. Okay. Right. So here's the thing. I mean, right. When you won the North London Trophy,
Yeah.
Donald Brewer was second,
Right.
and Alan Dunn was third.
Right.
Right. You won the Davis Cup a week after the North London Trophy. It's the other way around. You won the North London Trophy first, and then the Davis Cup. It was at the Embassy, but you've got 2 wins in 2 weeks. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, because that's at the Embassy. But either or, whichever way around it was, did you feel like, I mean, you must have felt pretty good with wins and that. But did you think like I've arrived a little bit, or did you think I'm set to be
Well, I was pleased with myself.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
But I still, wish there'd been some races on the road, which are the
Yeah, there was no. Yeah. Was there any road races back
No,
then?
there wasn't
Nothing
no
at all.
road racing, you see.
But did you train on the road?
That's why I trained with Easton all the time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Is that places like Meriden?
Yes, Meriden
Yeah.
and the Marley Park, and but mainly Kings Norton.
How did you come to find Kings Norton?
Because I worked for the post office, and I went to do some work for the post office in Kings Norton, and I found the track, and it was beautifully surfaced.
Was it? Was it smooth? Was it?
Oh yeah.
So, and how big was a lap on Kings Norton?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, but it was a good surfer because.
Oh, it's a good surf.
So you found it, and then you and Easton trained on there.
Yeah, and we kept it quiet.
Did you? Did you? But how did everybody else find out about it then?
It leaked out somehow.
Did it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Then the Midland started training up there as well. So, yeah.
Because like by the mid-60s, it was like they were doing trials on there.
Yeah, well, that's it. When I was there.
Well, well, it must have been early in that because Wybrot is on there, and he was over here in '60.
Yeah, well, that's when I used to train with Wybrot and Easton on the factory
centre.
which helped them to win their titles.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So didn't he have to worry about the cars?
There weren't many cars about then.
I suppose.
It was very quiet.
Yeah.
I
mean, I remember the factory centre. But so anyway, so 1959, you've got the North London Trophy, you've got the Davis Cup, and then 2 weeks after that, you set a world record for 10,000 metres. How did that come about? How did somebody suddenly decide let's go for some world records?
Well, I think they realised in training that I was very, very strong.
Yeah.
And that I could perhaps break a world record. And
even though you'd only been skating for 2 years.
Yeah, So.
But Henry, I see on the thing, Henry Crystal was there. So we must have had to apply for somebody to come and time the record.
Yes. Yeah, all the officials were there.
Right.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
But there was only you and so the other world record holder that day was Dennis Stafford.
Yes, he went for the 5,000 metres, and he put him for the 5,000 metres, and I put him for the 10.
Yeah.
Though I went faster than Dennis over the 5,000, they didn't count that as a world record. Dennis still had the record.
Even though, so just to explore this, so Dennis did 5, so you didn't do 5,000 metres, Dennis stopped and you just carried on and did 10,000. Dennis did a 5,000, you stopped and then you started again and did a 10,000.
Yes, he did the 5,000 there,
yeah.
And then I went and with the 10,000.
And was the pacemakers?
Yes. Yeah, there were pacemakers all the time, yeah.
And what did they do, just come in and out, coming out,
and when they got tired they came off and I just kept going.
Right, okay.
So,
yeah.
So.
And do you remember setting the world record?
Yes, I do, I was really strong then.
Yeah.
So.
And how did they do, what did they do? Did they call out the time and say, yeah, you're up on this or what? Or
no, they didn't give me no information.
Really?
No information whatsoever.
Right until the end?
No, yeah. So.
And how much did you break the world record by, can you remember? Whatever it was.
Yeah. No, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I believe I held it for 4 years afterwards. Yeah, so.
Well, it was I believe that day was the first time that Britain held a metric world record, because up to then it had all been imperial, like mile, half mile,
right.
quarter mile. So when you and Dennis did the 5,000, 10,000,
yes,
I think so. Because I also think that I think Patty's, and I think she broke the 500 metres ladies, I think.
Right.
Why didn't Leo go for records?
Leo was never very good at that type of skating. He was a pure racer.
Right. Okay, yeah. So like he could make a pass or whatever, but he weren't. Yeah. Yeah. Because I used to call him the Fox.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So like you've got your first 2 wins. You got a world record. I mean, like, you must have been quite on a high, really.
Yeah.
So, was it only or was it? I know Dennis got one. You got one. Was it only you and Dennis who went for the records as well?
It was Pat Barnett went for some records.
Right. What? And she didn't get them
And
all.
she got some.
Oh, she got some.
Yes.
At the embassy.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Okay.
Yes.
Do you think that's why Les went down and tried to break some world records? Because Les then went and set some, didn't he? I think he set some at Brixton. But, you know, it seemed to be like, let's go and set some new world records.
Right.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. It seemed like that was the start of
Yes.
of people, you know, setting world records. But so anyway, April 1960. Take it back a bit. You helped Birmingham win the Chambers Trophy. Do you remember that?
No. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Okay, but you were saying that you went to watch the World Championships in Wetteren in 1960. We were talking about this earlier when Wybrock won in Wetteren.
Yes.
But who else went with you then? Which sort of skaters went? I saw some photos with Tomasi instead, but
Dennis Stafford was there.
Yeah.
That's all I can remember from our club.
But you raced. There was races on the circuit,
Yeah.
presumably before the World Championships.
Yes.
And so, but you did all right on those circuits, didn't you? You were telling me about that earlier.
Yes. Well, I I went into the lead and pulled away from the group and looked like I was going to win it, but then I got wooden wheels and they went to pieces and I ended up finishing third.
Oh, so you did get? Oh, you got on the podium then?
Yes, yes. And Graham Stead finished first and Raven Massey was second.
So that with you three, that photo of you and Tomasi and Graham Stead is the finishing group, is the 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Ah, that makes sense. That now with that photo.
Yes.
So when you say wooden wheels, like they went up, what happens to a wooden wheel then? What happens?
They just got out of shape, so
Right.
It was terrible skating, you know. But I managed to finish.
Yeah.
But it's because I'd got a sort of good lead that I, you know.
Yeah. Well, my old man always used to say that they had a bonk. Is how he used to call it.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, they were terrible when they, you know. But I mean, I was lucky I finished.
So did. Do you remember the World Championships? You don't remember the team getting withdrawn because Leo?
No, I don't.
I don't remember that.
No.
But at that point, you're still only 24 in 1960.
Yeah.
But did you even at that? You got a world record and a couple of trophies and it. But did you then have aspirations of getting on the team yourself?
I always hoped that I would be given a chance on the road, but my skating performances on the track didn't warrant me getting in. You know, so.
Okay. Did you race abroad much back then?
No, not really. I think I only raced the whole my skating career about 3 times abroad. Yeah.
Is that you didn't skate abroad a lot? No.
No.
I know. I know you did in the 70s.
Yeah.
You went with Eddie Bradbrook and Alan Vile somewhere, but we'll talk about that.
Oh yeah, we'll come to that.
We'll come to that one.
Yeah.
So, but in 61 then, you get you come third in the relay championships.
Yeah.
And your next individual medal is again a gold. So then you come to in the relay championship. You don't get anything again until 63, and when you win the Davis Cup again in 63. Danny Kelly was third that day.
Yes.
And he'd just come back from winning the world title.
Right.
Do you remember that race? Do you remember winning the Davis Cup for a second time?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah, and was there any standout moments in that? Did you especially standing on the rostrum with Danny Kelly?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah.
So and then you get and then shortly after that you get a silver in the Claw Cup, and Mickey McGough wins it.
I do remember that.
Do you?
Yeah, because I at that particular time I was much fitter than Mickey McGough, but I didn't have the ability to get past him.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it was quite a close race. I think.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So, did you look at Mickey then and think he's going to be quite a decent skater growing up?
Yeah. I realised that was the start of him being
Really?
top skater. Yeah.
Yeah, because 63. I mean,
Yeah.
it's quite a. Yeah, he must have been really young then. He must have been really young then in 63.
Yeah.
So, and it is something that you wouldn't have known. I doubt that you would have known. But Mickey wins it, and you're second, right? But there was 101 entries for that event.
Oh, good God.
101, right, for the Claw Cup. And did you know that is still a record number of entries for a single event in this country?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there you go. So yeah, and there you are on the podium. So you beat 98 others.
So not too bad.
It was alright, it was alright. Who were your closest friends back in the early 60s? Because if you'd only been in the sport like 3 or 4 years, but who was your closest friends?
Well, it'd be Ricky May and Les Woodley. Yeah.
Did you socialise with them?
Yes.
Did you?
I did with Les Woodley and Ricky May. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just confined to the rink.
No, because I used to go to their house.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, I didn't know because these days a lot of the stuff is just you race, you go home. That's it, really.
Yes.
But was skating a social event anyway back then?
Yes, it was. Yes, yeah. But in later years, my best friend was David Reynolds.
Yeah.
So,
He's younger than you.
yes, almost younger.
Is he?
Yes, yeah. So
He got on the team in '63.
was it right?
Yeah, when Danny won his world title and
Yeah.
Leo won his world title,
Yeah.
Dave Reynolds was on the team.
Right.
Do you remember Dave getting on the team?
Yes, I do remember him getting in the team. Yes. Yeah.
Was you happy for him or jealous?
I was pleased for him, but David, yes.
Was you?
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like, from some of the results I saw, I looked and thought, it didn't look like you raced much around 65, 66.
Well, there was one time I did pack up for 12 months.
Okay.
I
Why?
I don't know, perhaps I just got fed up with not, getting in the trials, Right.
But did you think that you should have been in the trials?
Yes, I do. Yes, I think so, yes.
Yeah. And why do you think you didn't? Is it because they favoured London skaters or what? Am I saying now? I suppose you got...
Well, I think my performance on the track wasn't good enough,
Yeah.
But if they'd give me a chance on the roads, it would have been a different story.
But you're quite an unassuming guy, and yet people like Les and that are quite loud or quite forthright. Do you think that might have played a part because they were quite, vocal? Or...
Yes, I think I should have spoken up really.
Yeah. You think that could have had a big part to play? Is that
Yes.
You didn't really, you just took it on the chin and instead of saying, banging the drum. So shortly after then, you switched to Midland Olympic. So you said you went with Ricky and Les to the Midland.
Yes, yeah.
Tell me why you came back.
Because I wasn't happy with Ray Roberts' way of training, but he was trying to get everybody up to a standard, and I just wanted to go shooting off, and that's why I left. But that was my biggest mistake.
Was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You think as you stopped with the Midland, you could have really done something different.
Yeah, it was a time when they all became a great club. Yeah.
Then in the late 60s, you joined Midland again, 67. What was it like switching from Birmingham to Midland? You know, and did when you went back to Birmingham, first of all, was you welcomed with open arms when you went back to Birmingham?
Yes, as was to start with, yes.
Yeah. They were happy for you to...
Yeah. But at that particular time, I used to train with both clubs.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And get away with it. And that's why I was always very fit.
So the fact that you went back to Birmingham from Midland, Les never held that against you or anything like that then?
No.
There was none of that
nonsense? No, they didn't. No, they held it against me.
How was it like racing against them though? Once you...
No, there was nothing really. No.
Really?
No.
When, obviously Midland, and probably not in the early days, but later on, Midland was always, from my recollection, and certainly with Mercia, it didn't matter who crossed the line as long as they wore the Mercia shirt or the Midland shirt, and there was quite a lot of teamwork going on. But was there a lot of teamwork back then in the Birmingham and Midland clubs, or was it each man for himself?
I think it was each man for himself in the Birmingham club. Where, in later years with your father, it was a team effort.
Which was the better way of racing?
Well, I think, to be honest, I always like to race for myself.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So, we saw that the October '67, you get a bronze in the Claw Cup with Tommy Bartlett this time winning.
Yeah.
and do you remember that race?
Not really.
Not really. No,
I don't. I remember the Mickey Goff one, but I don't.
Yeah, remember the Goff one. Yeah, I spoke to Tom a couple of weeks ago, and about that. Funny enough. And then in 1970, you win the North London Trophy for the second time. Do you remember when you won it the second time? Because what's interesting about this is that you was back in the Midland Club. You're in the Midland Club, but it was a 1-2-3 with Stevie Collins and John Mullane.
Oh, right, yeah. You've got a photograph of that.
Have you? Have you got a photo? Let's have a look at that.
Yes.
Yeah. But you don't remember that though?
And that was the...
That's the North London Trophy, 70. So it must be on the Palace again?
Yes. Yeah.
But then you leave and go back to Birmingham again.
Yes.
Why is that?
I can't remember really, to be honest.
Okay.
No, so...
Yeah, because you go back in 71, you go back to Birmingham from the Midland Club, and I thought,
Yeah.
All right. And then you get married in 72.
Yes.
So, the fact, by 72 though, there's a lot of rinks closing, and racing starts to move to just other things like Battersea and, was it... Because it was coming out of it, was racing different on, outdoors to indoors? Was it much different, and did you adapt very well, or was you actually quite happy that it had moved?
Well, I'm happy with the outside than the inside,
Mm-hmm.
So.
And so, when you got married, did your skating stop for a bit?
No, I don't think so. I carried on.
So Joan was chuffed.
Yes.
But then in '74, Midland Club fold, and Mercia's born, and then you join Mercia.
Yeah.
So you leave Birmingham to join Mercia.
Yes.
So how did that come about?
Well, I think it's because the Mercia were at the in town at the skating ring in town, weren't they? I can't remember. Was it the Mercia?
Yeah, about the Mecca.
Mecca.
Oh yeah, no, this is that. So Mercia. So everything. So now the Mecca closed, and the embassy had long gone, and Mercia came about because I think the Midland Club hadn't got a home anymore. So they set up the Mercia Club, but they wanted to keep something that didn't have Birmingham in the name. So they went from Midland to Mercia, and they got this new top. But when they set up the new club, which was initially people like Jeff Mattock, Dad, Mullane, you joined them. You left Birmingham again to go and join the Mercia, but you can't remember why that was.
No, I can't really.
Was you big mates with the old man at that time in the early '70s, mid '70s? Was you?
No, but friendly,
Yeah.
but not big mates then. No.
Okay.
No.
So when you joined the Mercia, because you always seem to be there or thereabouts in the occasional medal, but then in 1975 on Tatum Park, 220 odd metre track, you win the Northern Midland Counties Championship for the first time on Tatum Park. Do you remember that?
I do remember that because your father and John Mullane were helping me to win it.
Oh right.
And Peter Howe was the one that was hoping to win it.
Oh yeah, of course, because although he was skating for Palace or Southern, he was Birmingham when he was related. Yeah.
And towards the end, I managed to shoot off, and I made sure he
He never got you.
That's right.
So you're Northern Midland Counties Champion, and so what was it like racing with Fry Mullane?
Oh, it was great days.
Was it?
Always fun. Always fun.
Well, I wrote down here, right, as a kid, me, growing up, it always seemed like you were all having a lot of fun as well as training hard.
Yes, yeah. It was the best days of my skating.
Was it?
Yeah, definitely.
I've got don't know why. Was it you that they put in the back of the car to do the fuel pump or something?
No, it was Mullane.
Oh, was it Mullane? So I know it's not a skating story. Tell me the story.
Well, there's Fry and Mullane and myself in the car, and the car starts conking out.
Whose car was it?
John Mullane's. It was a Jaguar.
Oh right.
And the fuel pump was in the boot, right? So Fry decided to tell Mullane to get in the boot and hold the fuel pump so it would work. So we put Mullane in the fuel pump, and Fry said, "Oh, I wonder what anything will happen to him." And I said, "Well, the car will conk out him."
if it happens to him.
So anyway, we draws up at the service station, and we're right by the window, and we goes and gets the boot, and Mullane gets out of the boot, and everybody wonders what the hell's going on. Then we carry it on driving, we're nearly home, and Fry goes round and round the island. And when we finally get home, Mullane doesn't look too good. Oh dear.
Yes, like I said, it was fun. I know, like my dad always puts a lot of emphasis on how much you influenced his successes, especially in later years.
Yeah.
He said like he'd always come home from work and he'd be knackered and he'd be praying that you wouldn't be there. He says, yeah, every time you come around the corner, there you was in your blue Beetle, parked up by the drive, and like, you know. But did you know what sort of influence you was having on him back then?
Not really, but I always wanted John to win a world record, a world title,
yeah.
and I always thought he could do, and I thought I was always trying to push him, and I especially in speed, trying to do sprints up and down the, you know.
Was that what spurred you on back then, or had you still got hopes yourself of doing something, or?
Well, I think it gone to the stage when I knew I couldn't win anything, you know. But I still thought I was still a good skater.
Yeah, yeah. But okay, so you thought the old man could win a title? And
I did, yes, yeah.
So 20 years on. So September '77, you join Eddie Bradbrook and Alan Vile, and Bob Moore is the manager, to a trip to St Filbert. Do you remember that trip?
Yes. Well, what happened is that there was a race at Battersea Park, and I managed to win it, and I was 40 then.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. And I was given an invite to the B team.
Yeah.
And I went with Alan Vile.
Yeah. And Eddie.
And I didn't do very well, but they skated very well. The pair of them did skate as well. But I enjoyed it.
Did you?
Yeah.
So that was only. So you said you only raced 2 or 3 times abroad, and that was so. Yeah. Was that your first, was that your one and only time called up for a British, B trip or?
Yeah, first time.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that was quite a good experience then.
Yes.
What was Bob Moore like?
Lackadaisical.
Was he? He didn't care much, no.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then the year later, you win the relay championship on Southampton with Fry, Feetham, and Lenny.
Yes, I know that was a great achievement.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, how did Lenny come to be in the team?
We had nobody else.
Was Mullane must have been injured, I presume. Because 78.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. But that must have been like Fry and Feetham I get, sort of get, and but Lenny, it's like Mullane must have been injured, I reckon.
Yeah.
But 78, but that's the year that they all won their Europeans. Well,
right.
Fry and Mullane won the Europeans.
Yeah.
But when was it a shock, or did you expect to win when you looked at the opposition, or was it a shock that you guys won?
I thought we had a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it must have been nice to hold the shield.
It was, yes.
And then the following year, you do the same again. You win it again. This time Mullane is in the team, and you win it again, and you retain the title.
Right. Where was that?
That was Southampton again.
Oh, right.
But also on the same day, I think you win the Northern Midland Counties on Southampton. So
Yes,
how did that come about?
Well, it was the old.
You're right there. You're right sitting there for a bit. Yeah.
It was the old Mullane and Fry helping me again. Right. And as we come down to the last straight, I shot off, and Fry Mullane made sure that, and I won.
There was people like, weren't John Downing in there?
Yes, and John Downing was here.
And McGrath would have
yes,
been. Yeah,
they were all in this. Yes.
McGrath had got silver in the Europeans that year.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I think though that John, the 2 Johns helped me, I still got a speed.
Yeah.
I've still got speed.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, Southampton must have suited you down to the ground though.
it did.
Well.
Yes.
Big old circuit. And then in September 1982, they have a very first ever veterans race on a car park in Peterborough. And you win it. That's the first ever veterans race that was.
Yeah.
Do you remember that race?
I do remember it, race. Yeah. Yes. I remember going in the car with you.
Oh, did we? You got a better memory than me.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that right? To Peterborough.
Yes, I was pleased because it was lovely to start winning something. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I suppose really you had most of your success now.
Yeah.
In you're in your 40s, but you know, so you in October '83. In October '83, the 9th of October 1983, you win your last ever senior medal.
Right.
Okay, do you know what it was?
No.
It was you got second, and you was behind an up and coming speed skater who would set the world alight.
Oh, I do remember it. Oh, yes, I do remember that well.
No, I remember. Funny enough, I remember it. So your last ever senior medal was my first ever senior medal. Funny enough. So yeah, it was the North London Trophy at the school playground in North London. Yeah.
I do remember that very well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't really remember the race.
Yeah.
I don't really remember the race, but I remember standing on the podium with you and you know, in the photos, and John Quinney was third rather.
Yes.
So yeah. But I mean, that was a great day, really. So, but yeah, that was a
I
good.
do remember that.
Yes.
So.
And to think that you first won that trophy in 1959, when you think about it, like
Yeah.
like 24 years later, and you know what I mean.
That's something, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah. I mean, like when you think about it, like 24 years later, and then you're still on the rostrum. So you know. Do you remember like the training on Aston as well? We were talking about that earlier.
Yes, I do. Yes.
And the I was looking through some diaries of the day, and like if you did 2 laps under a minute, it was it was considered a good time. So, but I remember training with you on Aston.
Well, I remember you beating me and upsetting me.
Well, the funny thing is, you know, like when you have somebody who you always want to, you know, when you set yourself goals, don't you, through, you know what I mean, is that when you start out, you think, I need to get to that, or that time, or beat that person, or whatever.
Yeah.
When I first started, like, you was sort of the guy who I wanted to, in my sights, if you like. I know that sounds silly, but I don't mean it like as a, you know, but just as a way of gauging my own abilities. Was if I could, you know, hang on to your coattails or you know, or beat you or whatever, which, you know, then I knew that I was making progress because you was a decent skater still.
Yeah.
You know, so that was, so you was my stepping stone onto other things. So it's funny that you're helping the old man and you're helping me, you know, in a roundabout sort of way. Because I remember training on the M42.
Oh yes, I do remember that well. Yes.
Yeah. Who found that? Do you remember?
It could be me again. That I noticed it when John and I went up there and before they opened it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was 2.5 mile a lap. I think it was.
Yeah.
So and then they in 1987 they introduced category racing.
Oh yes.
How did you feel about that?
Oh, I really, really pleased because it was a chance to start winning things.
Well, you got quite a few more medals actually in category. You did in categories 2 and 3, 3 and 4. Sorry. So because you were racing against people with your own ability, was that a better feeling than maybe just doing some of the senior races now? Which did you prefer?
Well, I enjoyed the category because I had a chance in the senior races. I was, you know, too old.
Yeah.
All right.
So you thought category was quite...
I thought it was a very good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the same with the veterans racing?
On the veterans races, yes.
But then on the 29th of September 1988, it all changed when you took a heavy fall at Tatum. And you walk off the track for good after that race. I know you're recovering that, but was you thinking of quitting up to that point, or was it a spur of the moment, instantaneous thing?
No, I had no intention of packing up. No, because I was enjoying the veteran racing.
Yeah.
And I still thought I could win.
Yeah. So, what made you? So, did the fall make you stop in terms? Was you injured, so badly injured, or did you just go, I don't need this? What was the decision?
Well, because of work, I was off work for 11 weeks and
What, after that fall?
Yes.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
I'd done my shoulder, you see, and I couldn't work, you see.
I didn't know that.
So I thought, I think it's time to pack up.
So weren't on the day then? It was basically over the period of the time when you were recovering. You thought you just sat down and thought about it.
Yeah, I did try skating again at Fox Hollies.
Yeah.
But I was too frightened then, falling. So,
really?
Yeah. So I thought it was time to. I thought I've had a good run. I'll pack up now.
Was Joan happy that you packed in?
Yes, I think she was.
Relieved.
And then I took up running.
Yeah, and you did all right at running.
I did very well at running.
So tell me about your running. So what because you was quite good in the Masters, weren't you?
Well, in the running, there'd be 200 or 300 people in it, and I'd be halfway up the field, and I would win the age group. So
right.
So I was getting medals then, and most times I won my age group, and I had a lovely time. Yeah.
You never looked back on the skating. Did you miss it?
Well, I was so infused with the running. I wish I'd, to be honest, I wish I'd have been a runner, because I think.
Oh, really?
I think I would have been a very good runner, you know. So.
Well, I worked out the other day that you've been away from skating now longer than the amount of years you was in it. If that makes sense, right? Yeah. That's the first thing, and then I also worked out that I am older than what you was when you stopped.
Oh, right.
So that's worrying me,
right?
Because when I'm a kid, like I always look at you as being like the older generation, and you know what I mean. And of course now I'm thinking, in 1988 you were what, 30. But would you been in 50? Sorry, how old would you been in 1988?
I think about 55.
55, yeah. So, and I'm nearly 58. So, so I'm looking at it thinking, Monique, it doesn't register like that. But do you have any regrets about skating, from the skating?
Well, as I say, I made the biggest mistake was when I left the Midlands to go back to the Birmingham when they were about to be a great club. I think that's the biggest mistake I made.
Okay.
And then I was disappointed there were no road races when I was at my best.
Yeah. Okay. So, and if you could pick one lasting memory, do you think you could?
I think nearly winning at Mallory Park and finishing second to Bill Sharman, which was a photograph finish, you know.
Yeah, that'd be your best memory.
Yes.
Well, super toy, John Toy. Thank you very much for your insights into your skating career. I've been wonderful. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, John.